centers. Dr. Drew. How brilliant is Dr. Drew when people that come out of his center die? And then he says they didn't work the program. Well, maybe the program isn't workable. Don't blame other people all the time. That is your projection. When you judge anybody else to be the cause of your problems, then you got to look internally and see how you are the one playing that game. Ultimately, I will admit to my own insanity, and I smoke, which I know I gotta quit. But that is like our wake up. We're all doing this, even me. And I do smoke because of pain and stress, and it is that addiction. Chances are, if I don't have stress, if I don't have see these global issues and think, oh my God, our world is crashing. It's worse than the last depression. There's going to be no food, and I have 4 kids. There is some pain involved and disappointment in humanity and frustration. And how do you talk to psychopaths? How do you get a psychopath to say, you're destroying your own world? Because nobody's going to be able to afford tobacco. Nobody's going to be able to afford alcohol. They're going to make it on their own. So even the stocks that you say are a good investment, there's no cash flow because of the way you do things. So you're not going to be able to make any money off of anything eventually, because the only people that you're going to have to rely on is the very top buying as much alcohol as you need to make a profit. That 1% is not going to make everybody that invests in it and follows your advice. They're not all going to make money off of that amount of people. People know how to make their own booze, their own alcohol, their own drugs, grow their own pot, and medically, we're starting to wake up that, if we don't work in these factories and can't afford all of these things, we're going to get healthier. So all of these pharmaceuticals that you're investing in, we're going to get healthier just because we can't afford to participate in your game anymore. As soon as we can't afford to play in your game, the game changes. And we will get healthier. So we won't need any of your pharmaceuticals. So, Kevin O Leary, and anybody that invests and thinks this guy is a good idea, you're all nut bars. And he's the one that proclaimed it. It's his projection, not mine. I've never called myself a nut bar. I've never called anybody else in my life another nut bar. The only person that I would ever call a nut bar is the one who entered into my life and declared and introduced himself as the biggest nut bar on the planet. Naturally, he couldn't see himself, but he sees himself through me. There you have it. Try and beat that psychology, because I'd love to have that debate. Mind you, I would never be in a room with a psychopath. That guy is dangerous. He does have blood on his hands. He's not guilty. He's not innocent. And not a man to follow. And our government and media supports this guy. They put him in front of as much media as possible. So government is at one with this guy. I mean, the levels of insanity that are going on, and they're all highly educated people, and they did it all legally. And apparently the medical community thinks they're sane and I'm insane. Do you see something a little screwed up with the planet and how much waking up we gotta do? Peace out.